Hi everyone, and welcome back to our series on social media. I'm Claire Daniels, CEO at Trio Media.
I'm Manny Singh, CEO of Bobble Digital.
And I'm Anushma Chakanyan, CEO of Burnway.
This is the second episode in our social media series, and we're going to be covering off the whys of social media. So why you should really use it and delving into all the different aspects a little bit more and how they're going to be able to help as part of your marketing strategy. In the first episode, we went through what is social media. So if you are at that initial stage of wanting to find out more, please do go check that out. And whilst you're looking around, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. And we'd also really love it if you left us a review as well on whatever platform you're listening on. So really with getting started on the why you should use social media as part of your marketing strategy. In the last episode, we covered off the sweet spot that really the three areas of all our businesses and expertise cover in terms of creating great organic social media content, creating video as part of your social media strategy, and then using paid media to support that and target your audience. And so the big question might be, well, why? Why would I do this over anything else? And some of the key things I would really encourage you to start thinking about would be think about where you spend a lot of your time. When you're picking up your smartphone, we're constantly connected nowadays. What we tend to do is we go straight to a place of comfort, and that's social media. It's familiar. We see familiar faces. We get rewarding experiences through the interactions that we have on social media. And these apps have been designed to be that way. They're designed to be addictive and for us to want to spend a lot of time on there. So really, it's part of everyday life. It's where we're spending a lot of our time anyway. And so for any business owner or marketeer, this is about you taking your product or service to where people already are. Instead of waiting for them to come to you, which we see in the case of any search engine marketing, whether it's SEO or paid, actually social media, you're going to where people are already spending their time. And a lot of research shows people often ask for reviews. They often research products, follow brands, engage with potential businesses or suppliers online on social media. So it's really about being present in that space. One of the great things about social media as well is because of the amount of information that people put into these platforms, knowingly or not, is the amount of data that is then held about each individual that can then be marketed to. And I'm interested on this point just to go to you, Manny, because from a paid perspective, and it's one of the key conversations we certainly have with people around that opportunity. Obviously, when someone comes on Google and they type in a search, they do have a demand and a need for your product, but you don't know at all if they fit your target audience. Whereas social media is totally flipped on its head, really. We don't yet know if they have a need exactly for what you provide, but the opportunity to target people via their demographics and really nail down on that target audience is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, like with Google, you just said it there, it's very specific and it's not as creative in terms of what you can do across social media. So if you type into Google, looking for, pots and pans, whatever it is, very generic, element, you are going to get brands and elements that say, 50% off brands. They're going to be very call to action, sales focused based on the keywords you put into. Whereas social media is a completely different realm in terms of opportunities because they are very and I'd say lower funnel in terms of where they are in the buying process of where they are to that product or service they're looking for. Whereas on Facebook, you have to engage people at the top funnel, which is why so many brands run towards it around seasonal periods, whether they're pushing, it's going to be Valentine's Day. So just have a look at how much Valentine's stuff you're going to be seeing over the next couple of weeks. Just have a look at what happened over Christmas with, the festivities, the Christmas themed ads, pushing products out there. Now, you might not have needed those ads, but, customers know their audience, and you as a business will know who your audience is. You just got to look at platforms like Google Analytics, have a look at who your existing customers are, have a look at the different services and products you offer and who they are tailored to. And that's the type of content you need to start engaging, because if you already know who they are, there are other customers out there that will fit that demographic. And that's where paid social really amplifies the great content you can create. So that's why it's really important. And you should look at, implementing different channels into that kind of mix of what you push. So, with with Facebook Business Manager, and I alluded this to in our last week's episode, there's different placements that you can run. You've got Facebook ads, you've got Instagram ads, and you've got Facebook Messenger ads. You've got three of the biggest key platforms already in one advertising, paid marketing channel software. So from that, you can target people across Facebook in feed, in video feed, in video stream. So as they're watching a video, you can have an in video element, which is why, paid video is such a key element. You've got Facebook stories, and then you've got Facebook marketplace as well. And then you've got Facebook audience network. So you'll notice sometimes when you're Facebook and you click on an article, let's say it's to the Daily Mail, you don't really go on the Daily Mail website. You're on a Facebook's version of that site. So you can close it and go back to the feed and stay on Facebook as a platform. All those elements allow you to create different types of content, which whether you create organically or as part of a wider social media strategy to really push out to your key defined audience. And it's how creative can you be? The most creative way you can do it, video content. And that's just Facebook. You've also got Instagram in terms of stories, reels, in feed. You've got Messenger, so you can target people in terms of Messenger. The reach of audience to potential new customers that might not even heard about your product but might be interested in it is important. Think of how people used to use TV advertising back in the day. I'm saying back in the day now, look at me. Back when TV was such more influential in terms of reach and audiences, and people would target, their ads and place them on key programs and ad breaks based on who their audience was likely to watch that kind of episode or TV series based on the elements. It's just taking that into more of a digital world where we know more about the audience. We can be more targeted by targeting by age, demographic, their interest, their behaviors, and what they're like. We can target them if they've been to your website and they haven't bought a product. So we know that kind of element. It is targeting on steroids, as I call it, but it's so much more beneficial in terms of allowing you to push that out. But it's getting that channel mix right. And this is where I think it helps. I know what you want to talk about, Claire, and particularly Nush, is how video and how organic and paid work well hand in hand. There's no point pushing out paid social ads because people will see your profile, your company name, or your personal brand name. They'll see sponsored. If they don't click through to the website, but click to your page and you have zero content on there, you don't have many followers, you don't have a well-optimized page, you don't have any reviews on there if you're a product-based customer, you're not really sharing content and being relevant. All of this is like your website where they're looking for Trustpilot reviews and elements like that to provide confidence in you. Remember, you're prospecting across social media. You're not targeting people that are already further down the channel. Some of your audience will be further down the channel based on your targeting criteria, but a big chunk of your audience is going to be very, very, as I call it, top of the funnel. So they're going to be, maybe they don't know they're interested in, they might have had a conversation about it, but it's in the back of their mind. It's up to you to use that creative element to bring that product to front of mind to get them down that buying process.
Yeah, and I think it's a really important point around blending both organic and paid content, and then also the type of content that you produce as well. So obviously we're really stressing the importance of video here, but it doesn't mean that that's the only type of content you should be producing. It really is about scratching the itch of all the different types of social media content that can be created. And certainly with social media, we do see it works best when you do a fully integrated paid and organic campaign. We spoke about in our last episode how well LinkedIn can work from a professional perspective, but actually a lot of the performance that comes from LinkedIn is from people's own personal profiles, because the reach on them organically can perform quite well. However, reach on a business profile is a lot harder to get organically. And so, what I would always recommend on LinkedIn, for example, is really empowering your team and yourself to go out and be creating great content, but then, potentially running paid ads on the business so that the business name is then out there in front of people as well. If we were working on any like Facebook or Instagram accounts for people, especially for new businesses starting out, one of the things we really push now is in the first few months to just do paid campaigns that get page likes, because in doing that, we're then going to increase the number of people who will see the organic content being created and then we start understanding our audience more. We've got more followers, which again is a key metric that people do look at when they're considering whether to buy work with a company. And then we can start doing some more specific advertising as well. And, you know, every type of content has its place, from long format kind of written posts. You know, on LinkedIn, you can get away with like micro blogs almost as a post, and imagery performs really well. But then we do see across the board that actually the performance of video works really, really well on all social media channels. And obviously, as we've already mentioned, we're seeing this divergence of Instagram wanting to be more of a video platform, along with us seeing that TikTok is only going to continue to rise. So, Anush, really, I'd love it if you could explain, like, why do you need social media videos?
Before I get into that topic, which is so important, I would really want to mention about the importance of paid media and organic together, because none of them separately could work. When you're just providing organic content, that's good. Of course, for your personal page, it can get a lot of engagement. You can be, let's say, an influencer and get a lot of engagement organically. But paid media can help to grow your organic content as well. I tried by myself. When we boosted our vlog, just a short amount of just money, just boost it on YouTube, it organically started to grow. But you need to give that a small, let's say, something that it can boost by their own. If you just leave it in the very first 24 hours, just pause and wait for it to go viral, it will never happen. You need to give something to get something. So that's why it is working together. Maybe if you have a really good content, some people say that it will go viral organically, but I'm not totally agree with that. You need to provide some kind of help to your content, have a great content, provide help, and it will really go viral and it will help your business to grow. When it comes to videos, why do you need social media videos? We talked a lot about the importance of it, but I want to highlight once again that it's again a combination. If you post just an image, if you post just a blog post, if you just post a video separately, that will not work. You need to combine all your, let's say, skills together, and it's kind of a whole marketing plan to combine all of this together to get to the goals that you are wishing for. So video is part of it. Video is just more, let's say, easy. It's easier because when you're creating a video, it's easier to deliver a message rather than with a text. It's easier to be more creative, and it gives you more possibility to create whatever you want, because it's not only about a text. With text, you need to be very creative and very simple so people can understand you. But when you add to your text an image, when you add to your text a movement, it becomes just easier for people to understand you. That's the case. When you talk with people over the phone, they just listen to your voice. When you talk with the Zoom, they see you, so it's easier to understand you. That's the same way, so it's not a big difference with that one. So what's the difference? Video helps to grab attention easier because people watching it, when you're scrolling the feed, they are seeing a movement and they are interested to see what's going on, what will continue to your video. Video helps to your SEO because nowadays, if you talk a lot of keywords during your video, it will push your content up. So that's one of the reasons why you need to start using videos. Also, video drives conversion and sales because people getting more trust when they see a video rather than an image. Especially, let's imagine when you're buying online. When you see someone wearing the clothes and just moving around, you see whole idea of this, let's say, a t-shirt. But when you see just a picture of it, you see just one side of it. That's the point. So, and finally, I mean, why do not try? If there are videos and you can create them by your own, why do not try? Just try and you will see the results.
I love that. I mean, it's nothing better to say than that, is there? You know, and I think as we all run businesses helping other businesses do things like this, but also, you know, the message we always want to put out in these podcasts is like, just get started, just give it a go. And, you know, I think that nugget of advice there is really key. And so I think that's where we should close today's episode. And you'll have to come back next week where we talk about how to actually start implementing a social media strategy. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you back next week.